Dearest listeners, book babes and book bros, welcome to Book Babble. I'm your host, Tanya from the Witlet Women, and I have two special guests for you today. The first is my co-host, Megan from Beyond the Blurb.
Hey.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Megan, and I do have my own podcast that we do. We just cover books. We don't interview authors. So super excited to be here and do this experience with Tanya today.
Well, we're happy to have you. And then we are interviewing T. Priceton together. Do you want to give an introduction?
Sure. I am T. Priceton. I am a new indie romance author. I just debuted with my first Mafia series last year in September. So I only have two books out right now, but I do have the third and final installment of that coming out in September. So,
Yay.
We're so excited.
thank you.
All right. Well, T, are you ready to babble?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put 5 minutes on the clock and we'll get started.
Yes.
It is queuing up. Okay.
So my first question is what originally inspired Matteo?
So I have been a pretty avid romance reader for quite some time since I was like 13 or 14 years old. And one of my favorite subgenres of romance is mafia. So I just knew I wanted to write a story that had a suspense plot, romance, obviously, and just something that I've read a lot of.
I love
I
that.
love that. Yes. So, can you tell me how much research goes into writing mafia stories?
Um, it's actually so funny. My husband and I were just talking about this the other night. We are just laying in bed, and I just looked over at him and I was like, "You do realize I'm probably on like a watch list, just to let you know." Um, and he was just like, "Yeah, we're probably all on watch lists." And I was like, "No, like I just Googled. I don't remember what I had just Googled, but I was like, let me show you what I just Googled, and just think about it." So I'm definitely on a watch list. Like I think it was probably something about strangling somebody.
It's the most efficient
So,
way to strangle someone.
yeah, so it really that's kind of like the research that I do, is like murder.
We'll get our bail money ready.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I actually jokingly was like, okay, I was typing something in and it was like pretty dark, right? You're just how to kill, I don't know if I could say that, but like how to unalive somebody, XYZ. And then after I was so paranoid, I was like, I'm writing a book. I just typed in, I'm writing a book, don't come after me. And
That's
so, yeah,
great.
I know that I don't know how it all works, but I was like, I'm just going to say this just in case so that nobody takes me seriously. And yeah, I've done that before.
So
That's
funny.
hilarious.
Oh, goodness. So, my next question is, what were you doing in the exact moment that these characters started to come to life for you?
Mm, well, probably it was the when I made the decision that I was going to start writing a book, I was just in bed. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what is something that I would like to write? And then I just thought of like the plot of Mateo. And I was just, yeah, I was just in bed with my kids because I have two young kids, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try this and see what happens. And so now we're here.
That's
Well, it
such a
worked
cute
out.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have Matteo and Isabella, both of them are connected. Are
Yes.
there any other hidden secrets or Easter eggs in either book or both of them combined?
Um, that's funny that you asked that. I do have some Easter eggs in Isabella, for my next series. So I have not announced my next series, and they're very small things. So one of them's so small that I don't know if anyone would even pick up on it, to be honest. But basically, maybe I'll just like do a little sneak for you guys. But I'm not telling anybody what the next series is yet. But one of the things is there's a name that's dropped in Isabella, and that's going to be the main male character in book one of my next series. So,
Oh,
Time
yeah.
to break out my magnifying glass and
And it's so small, and I feel like people would be like, oh, I totally know the answer to this based off of what I just said, but because I'm saying it's so small, I think people are going to be like, wait, what?
question it.
So yeah, yeah,
Yay.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
there's an exclusive sneak for you guys.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a scene from either Matteo or Isabella that you had to cut out because it just didn't fit right?
Um, Matteo or Isabella? It's funny that you say specifically them. Can I say it for my third book?
Yeah,
Because that's like so
absolutely.
fresh on my mind. It's like the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
So Vincenzo is the third book in the series, so it's going to be the brother.
Mhm.
And I wrote an entire scene. I feel like I can say it. So it's kind of. So it's a scene with the FMC and her cousin. And I wrote this entire scene basically introducing him. And it was just the banter was so fun. And I really loved the scene. And then I was like reading it back and I was like, this will not work at all. So basically the introduction to a cousin that is going to be, you'll see in Vincenzo. I had to cut the entire scene and I was really sad. It was like 1,500 words.
Aw, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so congratulations. You've made it through our AMA hot seat. So
Yay.
we'll put this on our social channels and then we'll put the entire episode on YouTube and Spotify.
Okay.
But we're going to continue babbling.
Okay.
Yay.
Sounds good.
So I know Maegan is like the biggest fan of your writing. And
Oh,
so I am going to put her on the spot right now and let her choose our next line of questioning or conversation.
Um, so I haven't read Isabella yet. I know it just came out, so I haven't quite gotten to it. But I was on your ARC team for Mateo, and I loved it. And that community you created for all of us,
thank
loved
you.
it.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So I write. So what is something that you can tell aspiring writers or young adults that are trying to make it in this world, like the writing world?
Yeah. One of the things that I was kind of surprised about when I first started promoting Mateo is how accepting this community has been.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I started promoting it sooner rather than later. I'm not a social media person. Like my personal social media is like basically non-existent. I'm only active on my author social media.
Yeah.
So the idea of having to market my book and like start the social media channel, it like overwhelmed me and I was like really scared. And I was also just nervous because I was like, okay, I feel like a lot of people have their favorite authors. Like I'm just this new author coming in. Nobody knows me. No one's going to give me a chance.
Yeah.
And I just think my advice would be to people like put yourself out there because they're so like this community is so big and they're so accepting, especially of indie authors.
Yeah.
You're going to find your tribe. I found mine. I mean, I had so many amazing ARC readers like you that were willing to try out a brand new indie author. I was so surprised by that. I didn't think that I would get like anybody to sign
Yeah.
up. So I would definitely say like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, start your social media and just get the ball rolling.
That's
Yeah.
actually really good advice, and I'm about to, do a shameless plug, so apologize. But I'm so passionate about indie authors that my friend and I, Kim, we just started our own indie author PR company called Iris Influencer Society, and that is who our target audience is. We want to find indie authors just like you to help promote their books and help them build a tribe. So like
Yeah.
there is plenty of space for indie authors in
Mhm.
this community, and there are
Yeah.
so many people, so many companies that are willing to help you get there too.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like you just kind of get boggled down by seeing, the very big names out there. And then on top of that, you're seeing people that are releasing several books a year, and you're
Yeah.
just going to kind of feel inferior to that. But I mean, I am only putting out 2 books this year, which for an indie author might not seem like a lot. A lot of them, especially the big ones, are doing, 3, 4, 5+ books a year. But there's so many books out there, but there's so many readers out there. And they're like,
Mhm.
they are just so hungry for whatever you're willing to give them. And
Yes.
I was so surprised when I started my social media and when I did publish because there are so many people that were willing to back me up. And it's a, I don't know. It's very humbling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It is.
And I just have to, oh, sorry, go ahead, more Megan.
Oh, if I was a different question.
No, go for it.
I was going to ask, how long did it take you to write Mateo, it being your first book? Because I know a lot of authors, when they're first writing their book, they're very critical on what's going out first with their name on it. So how long did it take you to write that? Not without editing or anything, just for you to write it.
To write like the first draft, it took me about a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's funny because Matteo came out a lot easier than like Isabella came out or even Vincenzo. Like with my first book, I was able to get like the first draft of it out in like a month.
That's
And then, yeah,
incredible.
obviously that doesn't include like the editing process, betas, and things like that. I wrote it in like January of last year, and then I didn't even publish it until September, just because I like put it away for a little bit. Like I was even changing things up until like probably the night before arcs were going out, like, because you're just kind of like, honestly, I think every single time you read a book, like your own manuscript, you could change something.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you definitely, that's another piece of advice for people. At some point, you just have to let it go and just be like, okay, I'm done with this, and it's time to publish it and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I've heard that. Just write it, get it all out, and then go back because you're going to critique yourself so hard
So
while
hard.
you're writing. So
Yeah.
just get it out and then go back.
Yeah, and it'll prevent you from finishing the manuscript, not just like physically, but like mentally. You're just like,
Yes.
you're so drained at that point. You're just like, well, if you don't see some kind of progress when you're writing a manuscript, it's a huge mental thing. You're just kind of like, well, then I don't even want to do this anymore. And I think people are more prone to give up at
Right.
that point.
Yeah, definitely.
My gosh, that's actually like that's a good point because I kind of feel like that's where the alpha and beta readers step in because they can help you get away from it, like help you step away for a minute and then give you insight that you're just like you're not able to see being so close to it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's really nice when you hear positive feedback. So obviously you want the critiques and things like that, but sometimes it's nice to send it off to somebody and have them be like, hey, this is really good. Because this entire time you're writing this draft and you're just like, I mean, this could be different for everyone. For me, I'm just like, this is terrible. I hate this. Like, worst thing ever. So I think it can be helpful sometimes to send it off to somebody and they can obviously critique it the way that they want to critique it, but they might also be like, oh my gosh, this was such a good scene, and that could potentially motivate you to keep going.
Yeah, I think everybody needs that validation for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to your art because like that's such a personal thing for you to get put out in the world.
Yeah.
And, obviously when you do that, you're going to get that criticism and that critiquing, but it's so wonderful to get positive feedback on top of that too. It just really
Yeah.
solidifies that you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very vulnerable position to be in. And that was one of the hurdles that I had to step over when publishing, making that decision to publish. I was like, am I ready to put myself out there? Am I ready to take on the criticism from people? And I don't know if you ever get over that or get used to it, to be honest. Like you have to get used to it because it's something you have to deal with. But it's still a lot, it's still a vulnerable place to be in, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Um, all right. Well, I think we are just about at time, but I did want to correct myself. I just realized, Megan, I said your podcast wrong earlier. I don't
It's
know
okay.
why I said Beyond the Blurb. It's definitely the Blurb Breakdown.
Yeah, it's okay.
Next time, correct me. I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
So, another plug, go visit Megan on the Blurb Breakdown. I'm sure she's going to be breaking down T's work here soon at some point too. And then before we wrap up, T, do you have anything that you would like to say to your readers and listeners?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking a chance on me. I know I'm very new to this industry still, but the insane amount of support that you guys have shown me, it's invaluable. I literally have no words. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to you both for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's been so much fun. And I love everybody. Love you all.
We love you just as much, all of your
Yes.
readers. And I hope we get to have you back on again soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I appreciate it, you guys.
Thanks for
Thank
joining us.
you.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Bye.